Well, now Dad started his unnecessarily long-winded explanation with an adjustment of his glasses. My father has many flaws, but explaining things in truly unnecessary detail is the worst flaw of all of them. Though, now that I think about it, he might have just copied that from his daughter, who has similar tendencies. When someone, let's say the verger, gives me an already pre-counted batch of donations, I don't bother checking whether he, the verger, actually counted correctly. Usually because I'm busy doing a million other things. I have to get to the next church service in 5 minutes or need to visit another old lady in the neighborhood village. Or my thoughts are somewhere else altogether, maybe with Mrs. XYZ receiving the terrible news of her late husband's passing. My thoughts are everywhere, but with the money that I should technically count a second time just to make sure. But I don't, and that's the real point. Now that the money is missing, I am the one who needs to provide the missing sum. But why that? I asked in surprise. 40 euro? That's a lot of money. With that much money, we could go to the swimming pool twice, or buy 40 bars of chocolate, or 20 huge chocolate sundaes. Or we could go to the swimming pool once and spend the remaining 20 euro on French fries and candy. That's one of the traditions we developed during the time that my dad would pick me and bubblegum up every second weekend. We make a boxing stop at a swimming pool close to Alfeld, which is maybe an hour away from Mitchell. We are all a bit grumpy from having sat in a car for hours at that point, so we are all happy to have at least one highlight in our day. That is, aside from actually arriving, unpacking, maybe eating something, and then going straight to bed. But the thing is, just like with a lot of things, once in the swimming pool, all my dad wants to do is paddle around a bit instead of actually playing something. He is content sliding, or rather rolling down the slides again and again and again, where I want to play Wiki the Viking or transform into a whale trying to escape from the evil whale catchers, or become a dolphin tolling about with the local children. There was only one time Dad had more fun playing a game of pretend than I did. It was winter, and even though it was only 6 p.m., everything beyond the huge glass pane windows of the swimming pool was already pitch black. And there's this one slide called Crazy River that you can only go through sitting in a swimming ring. And that slide, especially when it's already dark outside, is almost black in some parts. And my dad told me, to make the whole matter a bit more exciting, I presume, Anna, somewhere in that tunnel we were about to pass through is an untamed dragon waiting for us. And the only way we can make it out of that tunnel alive is to squeeze our eyes shut all the way through. If we blink for even just 1 second, the dragon will be able to see the shine of our eyeballs and sneak up on us to eat one. And he will. Anna, you blink once, and you're beyond help forever. Of course, I was squeezing my eyes shut for the entire ride as if my life depended on it, which it literally did. But my dad told me, one time when we just crashed against a wall, I accidentally did blink, and then I saw him. Saw who? I asked, soaking wet, already shivering with cold, and now with a little bit of fear as well. The dragon, my dad said, acting all serious. I opened my eyes for must have been only a millisecond, but it was too long. He'd already seen me. and he was getting ready to catch me in his maw, but we were going fast enough that he missed me by the width of a hair. In that moment, I remembered that I had indeed heard the sound of teeth snapping together while we went down the pitch-black river with squeezed shut eyes. I could perfectly imagine that that was the moment the dragon closed his jaws right next to us. And then I did something I usually wouldn't do. I asked, Dad, maybe the next time we go down that slide, we just say it's a normal slide without any dragons or other people eating creatures on it. Yeah? By the way, Dad's been a pastor ever since I can remember. Even when I was a toddler, barely taking my first steps, he was already taking me onto birthday visits to old ladies who just turned 150, 170. Back then, he had this red fold-up bike that he screwed a child seat onto that he used to bike through the villages. He'd always chat to the old ladies about their various sorrows, while I had to sit by and keep quiet. I usually got a small piece of chocolate, though, because I looked so adorable. You notice that was when my little brother wasn't around yet. What a blissful time that was. Sigh. As a 2-year-old little girl, I was obviously delighted about the chocolate and happily went along with further visits. Meanwhile, you'd rather catch me doing homework than coming along to these visits. Surely there's still cake and candies from time to time, even if I'm not particularly adorable anymore, but I know precisely that that's about all there is for me. I just have to sit by and keep quiet while my dad and the old ladies talk about depressing adult stuff, about various illnesses and divorces and suicides, whatever that is, and about all the mistakes people make over the course of their lives, about a problematic son-in-law, about the granddaughter's drug addictions, and so on and so on. Boring adult stuff that I don't know what to do with. I think I already told that to my dad when I was 3 or 4 years old, so he would stop taking me to his visits. Oftentimes, I spent not just every second weekend, but also the holidays, well, half the holidays at my dad's. And since my parents decided to live in different states, the dates of the holidays usually differ from state to state, meaning while I have holidays, the children in Thuringia are either still going to school or already going to school. So I usually take part in Christian youth groups or confirmation class or the young parish. I generally prefer the youth group because there the children are actually my age. But the young parish is my second favorite, as it consists of mostly 15 to 17-year-olds that act like cool older siblings most of the time. Confirmation class is my least favorite by far. The kids there are just always terribly loud and annoying, and in fact worse than even my little brother's kindergarten friends. When I told my dad about this, he agreed, but also said that there wasn't really anything he could do about it because he wasn't an actual teacher and had no actual authority to stop the bunch of rabid 13 to 14-year-olds from doing whatever they want. And what they wanted usually was to look at their phones and chat with their friends instead of listening or asking questions that my dad could give interesting answers. But they rarely ask anything, and when they do, they don't actually care about getting an answer.